gonna go through the cellar. Policeman. A blue banner is blocking the door and observing your approach. Active investigation here. No one enters or leaves by order of Scotland Yard. Straightening my mouth, eating apples, I nod politely. Right there, Mr. Copper. Glad to meet you and all that. Step aside. Take a bloody gander at this poorhouse chap with a head full of steam. Now come off it before I catch fleas. Or if you rather, I can give that bullish nut a crack. He's fingering his truncheon in an attempt to be menacing. Steady on. Look here, good man. Number 125 is my home precinct. No, maybe we got off on the wrong foot. Or should I say, I'm not here to cause trouble, Mr. Kipling. God damn it. Officer Clipping to you. I'm not a fan of this guy. Well, the truth of it is, I was raised here as an orphan until I was 10 years old. 10 years old, and I've come to pay a visit. That's quite a story to spin out of thin air. With all due respect, officer, I'm not spinning any tales. Anyone could come up and say the name, but even if it's true, this is an active crime scene and I can't let you through. Now trot along. This is about the missing orphans, Bertie and Juliet. Oh, that's very low. It has to be. Well, this is an orphanage, but never mind that. What happened behind this door has become a private police matter, and not the business of nosy little troublemakers like you. Now clear out. I saw the police are asking the public for help regarding the courtesans who've recently been reported missing. Do you have any inside info? Sorry, chap, not my department. As you'll know from the penny papers, that particular headache belongs to Chief Inspector Beckman. If you can read... Can't... Well, I suppose I'll be on my way. I'm not a fan of this guy. Smartest thing I ever heard from that mouth of yours. Kipling. We're gonna try to remember you, my guy. What a prick. A good old cell door. Let's go. Through the creaking hatch and down the narrow wooden steps, you descend into an equally narrow passage. You hold your breath a moment against the cloying smells of earth and vermin, and trail one hand along the wall during your brief sojourn into the dark. But soon enough, you found the second set of stairs and a welcome silver of light from the cracked door above. Even with the high ceilings, there is somehow an atmosphere of claustrophobia, and a cold shiver runs down your spine as you survey the parquet floors. The wooden wainscoting sits in silent testimony to the horrors that have transpired over the years. Despite the polished surfaces, there's a heavy musk within each air particle that could never be scrubbed away. You can almost see the shadow etched by the past and recall the role that you once played among them. Let's go to the worried sister. The sister behind the counter is so focused on chewing her lip and reading over a piece of parchment that she doesn't even notice my appearance. The counter she stands at is so stuffed and scratched that it looks like it's been in the war or possibly two. Ah, yes, there's something I can. Why are you here? The sister is smiling rigidly, a weird heat in her eyes. Her lips quiver as if, were she to stop smiling, some dark energy would encroach even further upon Sacred Heart. My name is Atticus Daly. Did you know Sister Helios? Indeed I did. God rest her soul. You may pay your respects in our churchyard. I am Sister Susanna. Was that all you wanted? If there's nothing else, I need to get back to my duties. I didn't know it was a full-time job keeping that desk from floating away. We need to convince her of our history. My good woman, I am a veteran, alumnus of Sacred Heart, and there's something of my mother's, Matilda Daly, that I'm trying to trace. She left a note for me when I was deposited on your doorstep, and I need to see it. Oh, I see. Well, you know we can't allow just anyone to poke through our files. I'm not self-reliant. I'm not apologizing for that. We didn't even still. That was years ago. She doesn't. She probably doesn't even know that. What about the kidnappings? Forgive my curiosity, but can you provide any details about the kidnappings that have yet to be relayed to the police? I wish I could, but the fact that the kidnappings took place at night means that there is little to no information I've yet to spare with anyone. The reason I'm asking is that a little bird told me that they witnessed things suggesting that Birdie and Julia are in deeper trouble than we thought. If what you heard is true, then it's clear that we sisters are hardly equipped to deal with those responsible for all this. With people who can easily overempower us. Offer to make up for your past transgressions. There's another bit of business as well, you see. Oh, wait. Excuse me. There's another bit of business as well, you see. When I left the orphanage, I stole some money from the office. Well, that is quite a shameful thing to do, but it doesn't mean that it cannot be forgiven. What? Man. I should have never done it, and now I wish to make amends. Please accept this gift to Sacred Heart. Oh, but this is a bank draft, and it's worth 40 shillings. Man, that would could have went towards our rent. How generous of you. I commend you, Atticus. Put a sock in it, crone. Bloody hell. It's like she doesn't think I have any sort of moral compass. This may not seem like a lot of money, but I promise every farthing will go towards the children's care and placing them in a paying job. There's a half second of hope in her eyes, immediately overpowered by trepidation. Ooh. There's keys for the cabinet in the office. Perhaps your mother noticed there, but I can't be sure. I cannot leave my desk, or I would take you there myself. Thank you. Much obliged, good sister. May I ask you something else? Of course. Give her the cellar keys. I found these keys lying around. You wouldn't want the residents to be running around unlocking all kinds of doors, would you? Oh, heavens no. It's cold enough without doors being left open. We're having the interior locks changed, but we can't change the others without permission from the parish. Thank you for bringing these to me. Farewell. Oh, he's doing really good here. Where is the freaking office? Kitchen door. Guess we have to go this way. Sister Susanna. Kitchen door. How could I forget the door to the kitchen? We will always try to sneak to steal scraps. And the cook was rather quick to the draw with that spatula. Gives me the shivers even now. Let's see if that actually. Let's go in the office. A dilapidated room with peeling paint. Some of the windows are sealed shut with grime, making the air close and stifling. Luckily, one window has a few busted panes, admitting a breeze now and then. File cabinets full of gloomy records. Orphans unlikely to find a home. Sister Susanna has a head for names and numbers, and she tends to do business here. Even so, the papers pile up against the walls, towers of yellow pages that surely decompose before anyone reads them. You hope to find the records you're searching for deep within the rabbit hole of paperwork that is the office. Flower pots. Pincushion flowers with wilting leaves, implying the neglect by sisters. Somebody will water them. They're dying for sure, but they've got some road ahead. Candy stash? Now then, what kind of goods do we have here? We're supposed to be doing good here. We're not taking a lollipop, even though we really want one. Oh, book pile. Actually, no. The cabinet first. An ancient hunk of hardwood cabinet, sturdy enough to house a collection of cannonballs, but currently stuffed with dusty old files. Search very thoroughly. This character has gained the confident trait and will not be able to select dialogue options that requires this trait. In the fleeting noontime light, may you find the confidence required to succeed and the power to see it through the sun. Let's not get overwhelmed by the number of files here. Look for the letter D. Here it is. Daily. Aha! My file's still intact. Thank the fates for bookkeeping. As if by design, a small and neatly folded piece of paper falls from the file folder into my hand. Matilda's letter. Dear sisters, I am forever in your debt should you read this message. Along with the care of my helpless babe, I must trouble you with one other request. Let my child's name remain Atticus Daly, so that his heritage may not be lost. His given name is Atticus, and his surname is his father's? My heart is split with grief for leaving you this burden, but the sapphire is genuine, and if you sell the ring for expenses, then so be it. Before God, I will try to correct this turn of fate, but Atticus' life may be stolen if I should keep him. Upon my honor, I will try to make our family whole again, but for now I am robbed of this privilege. I beg for your kindness and apply for your patience with a promise to return. Matilda Hathaway Daly. She signed with 2 surnames, and that is ever so important now. If Hathaway is a match at Bethnal House, then I can confirm her identity. As for my father, mysterious Mr. Daly, assuming he was the one to have her committed, and she's been there all this time, then he probably tried to destroy the marriage record. Some people stop at nothing to preserve their reputation. Then it's off to... Oh, crap. What's that? What's this? It's Leo's file. We're looking through his files. Leonardo Longo, light-skinned, dark of eye, dwarfo of Italian origin, missing, presumed deceased, 1868. This is difficult to read. I just turned 13 and ran away when I heard. No next of kin established. Case considered closed. He may still be alive. The 10-year-olds probably didn't even look for him. Just another dead orphan. And I barely thought about him after. Too many surnames on the horizon. The sun is a bit blurrier now most mornings. Makes me wonder why I never looked closer, back when my vision wasn't so often double. What else have I forgotten? What else did I ignore? That's enough of that. All that remains is the delicate matter of getting access to Bethnal House. Clementine could help with that. She was out of town with the patient handler there. And one of Clem's gun twists would hit just the spot, to the palladium. Writing desk. Lots of heavy paperwork was done at this desk, mostly petitioning the parish for more funding, but also adoption from every now and then. The sisters may be The system may be harder than they look, but the lock in the drawer is flimsy. Oh! Capital. Now, what's inside? Couple of coins. Nah. We just gave her a whole banknote. Book pile. That we should have kept. A stack of books in good condition. The tiles of these, the boss covers glittering in the daylight. Weighty expectation, trying times. I know of these. Not exactly peons to British politics. With materials like this on hand, the sisters must care deeply for the dispossessed. Oh wait, we ain't looking at the fireplace. The modest flame is well tended enough that one could step away and feel the warmth in a few hours' time. Not like the old days when we had to burn our bedposts. Perhaps the sisters are harvesting from the woods around the building, or else they always hoarded the good firewood and left us to break our beds apart. Stir into the fire. It's not much, but it's enough to keep the office warm. A spark crackling up the edge of a half-devoured fog, vanishing into the air, wasteful potential. So much waste, and nobody's even here but me. No one to share in the warmth. Not even the residents of Sacred Heart would enjoy the pleasure of this fire. Was it always like this? Fuel poured into empty rooms while those who need such small joys are stuck in the outside? Let's focus on how happier times. Alright, let's leave this office. Dining hall table. Table's big enough for a grand banquet, but they've struggled to feed 2 score orphans all these years. Black and white portrait. This picture looks familiar, but I can't quite recall who it is. Oh, yay. Likely Sister Annabelle. Can't remember much of her. She was up in years when I was a tot. Probably buried in the graveyard, the poor thing. All the shame to see giants, no assault. So unassailed. I rarely need to get a hold of myself. First it's voices in my head, now it's tittling at Big Ben. Alright, let's leave. Let's give her the cabinet key back. Can we go this way? Oh, we can. This is our letter. Factory seat. What's that leather-bound diary doing out in the open? It's as if someone wanted to have their innermost thoughts laid bare for others to read. That's what the owner had to share. Some pages are missing. I'm left with entire panels several days apart from one another. I want to start with the last one. Get hired and moving away from London with Baker. Well, they were lucky that I ever was. Perhaps the diary was their way of letting the sisters know where they'd gone. A polite way of saying, if you wanted me to stay, you should have fed me better. By serving flour whites with salt and pepper. Baker relished my knowledge of hard recipes, but he'd take me in before relocating his business to the east. Oh, we know the ending. Let's go see what the beginning was. Food getting less edible with each passing day. Theodora broke her teeth upon biting into a really hard slice of bread. Didn't eat mine though. I used it to knock out the airborne pigeon. Those go well with salt and pepper. This often couldn't wait till staff members to provide something edible, so they took matters into their own hands. Borrowed recipe books from sisters. Cakes and meat dishes had me drooling on the page. Would try to sneak out of the orphanage and look for bakeries and butcher shops. Reminds me of my younger self, though reading the books was as far as I got. Butcher thought I was too much of a whippersnapper to carry carcasses around. Carcasses will hurt my back. We'll try baker next. Besides, I can't stand flies. Alright, dusty bookshelf. Worn out Bibles and books on theology, competing with piles of dust for shelf space. What's this in the empty cabinet? Bully, it's a handful of glittering gears. I can fetch a price for this from an engine man. Guest ledger, who was here? For the few visitors that made the trip to Sacred Heart, there's a couple of notes and signatures and a smattering of doodles by the orphans. Oh, wait. Did you see something? Let's fireplace and then we'll talk to the girl. Oh, you know what? Girl. Jeezum, look at the size of you. What do you do for a living, jungle anvils? I'm big, but I'm actually a nice fellow. I'm an orphan myself. I was raised here, named Atticus. What's yours? Don't know if niceness gets you anywhere in life. Around here, it'll get you picked on and that's it. Anywho, I'm Scarlet. Why on earth would anyone come back to this dung heap? When I get a bit older, my backside is the last thing they're gonna see of me. I'm investigating the disappearance of two orphans, Bertram and Julie. Do you know them? You know Bertram and Julie? Yeah, I saw it happen. It was three tough big fellas like you. They snatched little Julie and tossed her in a grain sack. As easy as picking a cat up off the ground. When Bertram tried to defend her, he only got himself snatched right alongside her. Why couldn't the sisters do anything? They were scared, I suppose. Did you get to look at their faces? They all wore handkerchiefs across their faces, couldn't see anything save for the eyes. Poor girl still frightened. Fair enough. Take care, Miss Scarlet. See you around, Mr. Atticus. Oh. Class photo. A faded old photograph of Sacred Heart's ragamuffins. I remember when it was taken, how you had to stand still for so long it seemed like a week. They took one of these photos every year, provided there was money for it. Judging by the lack of any more recent images, they must have stopped hiring a photographer at all. Everyone looks so tiny, well, except for me. There beside me is Leo, the only friend I ever had in the orphanage, aside from Helios. Leo was a dwarf, and got picked on just as much as me. He never backed down from a fight, so he got the worst of it. Barely 14 when he went missing. The guilt I felt for leaving without telling him doubled after I heard. I remember now that I ran away less than a week prior. How horrible timing. We used to always fight for the warmest beds close to the fireplace. Scarlet. You better quit creeping about. This is where we sleep, you know. I feel so bad for her. Bible. Something about it looks familiar. Oh, it's a hollowed out Bible and an opinion book inside. Blasphemous. It used to be a sacred text. can't help but wonder what the young tearaways have to say about one another and read about Scarlet. Let's see, Scarlet. Not many friends, unless you count the ones she knitted clothes for and sewed buttons on. Aww. Poor Scarlet. At least her dog won't pick on her like whoever wrote this diary. What about Sister Susanna? Got an earful of this. Sister Susanna, get an earful of this. Sister Susanna, all sorts of rum. One moment she flashes a wistful smile at the orphans, the next she bursts into tears and walks away. Did remind her of someone she loved, someone she lost. Orphans come and go. Through adoptions, the workhouses, or death. Likely she's trying not to get too attached to her charges. Easier said than done. Bertram. But what do we have here? Bertram hangs about a yellow-haired cut purse who gloats about joining the circus. Orphans and street urchins coveting together. It's not uncommon when conditions at the orphanage force them to run away. World map. Always look at the map and dream about how far I get away from here as soon as I left. So naturally, instead of Cairo, I ended up in the other side of London. Rickety desk. My old desk. I can vaguely recall leaving myself a message. Ooh. Here it is, carved on the underside. Atticus, you're probably still ugly. Remarkably succinct. Come now, Atticus. True beauty lies beneath the flesh. Student. A little girl with curly red hair is staring intently at the book in her hands. Little is right. Either she's small for her age or that engineering text is far too advanced for her. She looks up to me, her face a picture of frustration. Ugh. How does the combustion chamber keep from getting wet? I really don't know, but I imagine they carefully set it around the edges to prevent leaks. Bah, what help is that? Of course they seal around the edges. Everyone knows what happens when you don't. Do they? Her expression turns dark. Did you hear that Trudy destroyed another toilet? But did not ask for details. And she went to Sister Susanna. You know what she said? I'd love to know what she said. She said, Mimi did it. As if I would do such a monstrous thing. Mimi snaps the book closed to accentuate her point. I need to get out of here, and the best way out is an apprenticeship. So I need to learn how the combustion chamber stays dry. She's right, driven and right. I wish I could help you. When I was growing up here, I wanted to get out as soon as I could. Really? What did you grow up to become? Don't say Genbibber. I suppose I'm still figuring that out. Well, I don't have time to think about it. After what happened to Julie and Bertram, I need to leave soon. And it can't be for the workhouse. I heard about what happened to Julie and Bertram. What can you tell me? What else can you tell me? Well, I didn't see them vanish, of course, but the sisters told us they had to suddenly leave to go and work in the cannery. They said they would come to visit. She knows as well as I did what the nuns are, that when the nuns are disingenuous. So I snuck out. I went to the cannery by the wharf. I looked around, and Julie and Bertram weren't there. I even asked some workers, and nobody knew a thing. Are you sure it was the right place? Of course it was. They're my only friends here, and now they disappeared. But I wish you all the best of luck. I hope you become an engineer and escape this life. She doesn't reply. Instead, she opens the book back up, stares at a diagram, and with rapt attention. She should meet Teddy. Meter stick, a vicious instrument of punishment. Its invested hands never fall asleep in class when your knuckles remain unwrapped. How can one how can one be expected to learn and internalize life lessons if you can't feel safe in the classroom of all places? Hmm. Okay. Oh, Sister Susanna. Thanks, sister. I have what I came for. Oh, well, it's you. You again. I'm very pleased, I assure you. I do wish the girl would have brought the firewood, though. I hope she does. Goodbye, Susanna. I don't think there's anything this way. Go to Cable Street. Do we go to the wharf first? Let's see. Wheel Slam it. Saurus Square. .com. So Saurus Square. I don't remember. I don't even know where Molly. We're going to the docks. Travel. Let's go to the dock and then we'll go to Saurus Square.